Today's News 10 NBC investigation takes a look at allegations against a nursing home with a long history of complaints. In fact, Jennifer Lewke and I have both taken a hard look at conditions at this facility many times before. It's located in Charlotte. And while in recent years it's changed its name from Shore Winds to Waterview Heights, many believe conditions have changed very little. Tonight, a former nurse manager is speaking out. Tammy Worth has been a registered nurse for 30 years, 14 of them in management. Her last job, a nurse manager here at Waterview Heights in Charlotte.
There's a lot of good employees that work there. The biggest problem is that they're understaffed. On Friday, we only had 3 nurses in the entire building, me being one of them.
3 nurses caring for more than 250 people. It was just after midnight on Saturday, and she'd been at work for 16 hours. She admits at that point she had choice words for her manager, and he fired her. We interviewed her on Sunday, February 16th.
My residents didn't get any medications yesterday or today. And I know that all today, there was no nurse on the unit, and there was 1 aide all day long.
Tammy says she spoke to that aide who was desperate, and for good reason. Only licensed nurses can administer medication or provide tube feedings. So no nurse, no meds, and in some cases, no food. And the staff shortage continued on Monday, February 17th. News 10 NBC obtained this text message from the director of nursing that reads, "We need all hands on deck today. 1 nurse per floor, lots of sick calls." And according to Tammy, this is not unusual. Waterview is owned by the Grand Healthcare System. I reached out to its vice president, Bruce Gendron, who confirms a manager did send the text, but he says staff responded and came in to help. But he would not respond to my repeated questions about staff shortages over the weekend, shortages that Tammy says resulted in patients not getting medications and tube feedings. Instead, he said, Department of Health closely monitors our staffing, and we work every day to maintain compliance in a challenging staffing environment.
Of course, they're hiring new people. It's hard to keep new people in a facility when they walk into such distress in a facility, they're going to leave.
This isn't the first time I've investigated claims that critical staffing shortages put residents at risk at Waterview Heights. In November of 2022, Waterview resident Carol Lennox was rushed to the hospital by ambulance. Her family had found her on Sunday at the nursing home struggling to breathe. Her daughter told me there was only 1 CNA, certified nursing assistant, caring for 40 residents.
He goes, "I can't give her meds. I'm only a CNA." I go, "So you mean to tell me that she has not had any meds this morning?" He said, "No, I've been here since 6:30 this morning, and nobody's gotten their meds." I go, "Nobody? Nobody."
Carol Lennox died 6 days later, and state inspection records indicate understaffing continues to plague the nursing home, with the state health department slapping Waterview with an SFF designation, Special Focus Facility. That's because Waterview has consistently demonstrated failure to maintain compliance with practices that have resulted in harm to residents. The nursing home's most recent inspection report in September of last year cites case after case of poor care. A resident lying in bed in feces with no clothes on. Another in a wheelchair with stool on the floor and on bed sheets with no staff in sight. And another who inspectors found lying in a soaked incontinence pad at 1:30 p.m. The resident said they'd not been changed from the night before, and repeated requests for help had gone unanswered, leaving them feeling like, quote, a piece of crap. It's a pattern Nurse Tammy says is heartbreaking.
Residents everywhere, "Nurse, help me, nurse, help me." It might be just a cup of ice they want, but we can't get to them. And then there's big things that they're not getting addressed.
Now, the Department of Health didn't answer my repeated requests for a response to these newest allegations, saying only that, quote, ensuring nursing home residents receive proper care is a priority. But the department did fine the facility $10,000 last year because of its poor quality of care. Now, on our website, I've provided a link to the inspection records of nursing homes in our state, as well as a link for you to file a complaint. Again, that's on our website in the body of the story at WHEC.com.